Today with Ladonna. We represent Beacon Therapeutic. We're a non-for-profit social service organization located in the south side of Chicago, in the Beverly area, actually. For the next 30 minutes, you'll be hearing about Ladonna's phenomenal story of life transformation and movement to self-sufficiency and some of the work that Beacon has done with her to help her on her journey. This is a live call-in show, so please feel free to give us a call. The number is 312-738-1060. If you have any questions or comments about Beacon services or about Ladonna's story, we'd be more than happy to answer them. Before we start into that piece, though, I would like to talk a little bit about Beacon and where we're located. We have 4 different locations. Our administrative offices are located in 1912 West 103rd. Our homeless outreach services are located on Western 11740 Southwestern Avenue. We have our high school program in Calumet Park and our Longwood campus, which houses a number of our programs. I am going to put a listing of those programs. We have 2 therapeutic day schools. We have an elementary school and a high school. We have our shelter outreach services that provides mobile mental health services to homeless women and children throughout the city of Chicago. We have a CHIPRA program where we're enrolling eligible children and families into Illinois' All Kids program. It's a health insurance program. We offer early Head Start for children ages 0 to 3 in their home. We have a FACT program that we'll be hearing more about because that is the program that we'll be highlighting today. We also have some specialty programs. We have a homes program, which is targeting highly vulnerable families, helping them move into housing and providing the necessary support services. We have a PATH program, which again is targeting mentally ill, vulnerable, and homeless families. We have intensive outpatient programs that can start as young as age 3 and go through age 18, where it serves as an alternate to inpatient hospitalization. And then we have traditional outpatient mental health services. At Beacon, and I'm going to put this up, what we see ourselves as doing is creating new endings from disadvantaged beginnings. And we do this throughout all of our programs, and we've been doing it since 1968. I'm really glad today because I think these are always my favorite shows when we have someone who really has been through the program and can really speak of the different ebbs and flows of their life. And I think today we have Ladonna, which I'm very glad. So welcome, Ladonna, to the show.
Thank you, Susan.
So you are a FACT participant.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your experience and how you connected with Beacon Services.
Me and my kids came out here. Well, I came out here with 4 kids and 1 on the way. I end up in a situation, end up homeless. Due to my past, I came back to Chicago and got in contact with one of the case managers from Thresholds. And they referred me to Beacon, and that's how I got into the program.
And then, so you started with Thresholds, and they referred you. And then the program specifically we're talking about is FACT, and I'm going to put some information on FACT. Okay. So it's you in order to be eligible for FACT, you need to be between the ages of 18 and 25. You need to have at least 1 child under the age of 5. You have to be homeless or at risk of homelessness. There needs to be some mental health issue that you or any of your children are experiencing. And then there's other factors that go into it: substance use, domestic violence, any type of other child welfare involvement, or any issues with your children. So tell me a little bit about your kids. You said you had 4 kids?
No, I had 4 at the beginning.
You had 4 at the beginning. Okay, so now you have how many kids?
I have 6.
You have 6 children. Okay, and what are the age ranges of your kids?
10 to 7 months.
Goodness. Okay, so they're quite an age span there.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about how it's been, parenting those kids, or what are some of the challenges with having your children?
Ooh, it's a big challenge, but it's a challenge that I deal with and I handle. I'm not perfect, never get me wrong, but I handle it. I handle it to the best of my ability.
And what kind of services did FACT provide? How was that process when you mentioned Thresholds referred you to FACT? What happened when you got involved with FACT?
With FACT, I got a second chance. I got a second chance to better myself as a human being and a mother to my kids. As they help guide me. Therapy. One of my kids do have a disability. I've been fighting for this for the longest to give him the right help, to apply for certain benefits that he should be eligible for. And due to being in FACT, I got more help than what I would get on my own, as far as more resource. Help with the school, because some people just they don't understand how hard it is. And then everybody look at it as if, well, he gonna grow out of it. I've been fighting this for 6 years now, and still haven't got to nothing yet, but something. Progress. I'm in progress, better than what I was before. Also, my other children, you know, while I'm trying to better myself, they do have the little LIP.
So your kids are in the intensive outpatient program?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 of them in there now. My little 2-year-old started. She'll be 3 this month.
Oh, well, happy early birthday to her.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of services are in the Little LP? And I know I put that on as one of the programs. What kind of services do your kids receive in Little LP?
Well, with that, they like the making sure they on point as far as with the development skills, speech, is they recognize the normal things like I said, back to my firstborn, I noticed certain things, but like I said, everybody said grow out of, he'll grow out of it or whatever, but by my kids taking advantage of the little LIP, they could catch it. It won't just be me and my word with it. Our professional is looking out for them and making sure they develop them right.
So they're looking at their speech.
Like,
I'm sure they're gross and fine motor. Like, are they running right? Are they holding the pencils right?
They develop skills, basically in everyday life. Can they brush their teeth? Even though things that I'm supposed to teach them at home, they still teaching it there. So now I have a team. I'm not doing it by myself. So.
And that's important because I think you're describing, you have lots of kids that you're trying to, you're helping and you're moving along. But I think it's so important when children have other adults that are also helping, and that's kind of like what you're describing. Now, you also described you were homeless. Are you still in a homeless situation, or what's your current living arrangement?
No, I have my own apartment now.
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
I've had my own apartment for 3 years now.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What does homelessness mean to you?
To me, homeless is when your name ain't on the lease, you're not the head, you're not paying the rent, the bills. For example, I could live with you, and I could go half on your bills, and I could go half on your rent. But I'm still homeless because I'm not on your lease, and it's not my home. So you sharing your home with me. And by that not being masked, that's homeless to me.
And so now you're on the lease.
Yes, now I'm the head.
You're the head. That's powerful.
Head.
It's powerful for you as a parent, but it's also powerful for your kids to see that. This is mom's place. This is where we live, and this is where. And prior to you getting your apartment, what kind of living situations were you in?
Me and my kids came far. Like I said, we came out here. We was homeless. We went from living with family members, friends that I'm very grateful for. Family members, friends, and then end up had to go to the shelter, deal with that. And it took a while. You gotta have patience because don't nothing happen overnight, over no week. It was a long trial, and we experienced a lot. Instead of you talking about homeless, how I just define homeless, we really experienced homeless, dealing with shelters and kids. And other people and everybody is raising their kids different. Some people allow their kids to do this and do that, and it's things that I don't allow my kids to do. For example, my kids know dealing with little LIP, we have family day every once a month. Everybody go participate, see what your kids been learning and things. Everybody know me. Everybody know my kids cannot drink anything before they eat. You must eat your food first. Then you drink your juice, and then you get your snack. Other than that, we're going to have a problem.
And so, and I think what you're describing is something we've heard other moms talk about, is that when you're in a homeless shelter or you're somebody else's home, you can't. It's not your rules. It's whatever the house rules are.
Yes.
And something like that, it really sounds like and the purpose to that is just to make sure the kids are eating their food, I would imagine. And that's hard when they're seeing, I would imagine, everybody else drinking their juice or their water or whatever they're drinking. I understand we have a caller. Is there a question?
Yes. Hi. I would like to, first of all, congratulate you. I'm so proud of your story, and it sounds like Beacon has really empowered you to get on your own. And as a larger community, what are some things that the community could help with once you feel like you're housed and on your own? What are some of the needs you feel?
Thank you. I mean, you could answer that. When you got your place, what were some of the concrete things that you needed, and then maybe that Beacon helped you with? Were there things that Beacon gave you, or
Well, like household needs, pots and pans, beds, dresses for the kids, mop, broom, just the original household things. Because like I said, when you're coming from homeless, all me and my kids had was each other and our clothes. So everything, whatever could be donated is better than nothing at all. Because like I told my landlord when he gave me that opportunity and talked to me, I'm young. Not too many people want to rent out to young people, especially somebody with all kids. They don't want to do that. You're going to tear my house up. That's the first thing my landlord was talking about. She got how many what kids? But anything. Because a person like me and my kids, we didn't care. We didn't have nothing. We would sleep on the floor. It was our floor, and it's still our floor. But anything will help. Curtains, anything. Light bulb, just in case the other one goes out. Anything.
those are the things that Beacon does look for donations.
Yes.
Because I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you're struggling just to make the rent. And to make sure that gets paid. It's all those extra things. And especially when you have children, they do need beds, you do need linens, you need pots and pans, you need all those things. So those are the things that are really welcome at Beacon. So what's going on in your life now? Are you working? Are you in school? What kind of goals did you set for yourself, and where are you with those goals?
Well, right now, I'm looking for a job. I just got my oldest child processed and stable into a therapeutic school. I just got another child into Beacon Therapeutic, Little LIP. And tomorrow I have my kindergarten graduating.
Oh,
and then
congratulations.
I got my oldest daughter going to the next grade. I got summer coming up. I'm getting rid of some of them for the summer. I just plan on, right now, everything is falling in place. Thank you for that.
That's important, because I think you're describing this journey where there's been a lot of challenges and a lot of difficult times. And I think the past 3 years you've been successfully housed. You've had your apartment now for 3 years. That's a big accomplishment. Where do you see yourself going where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, then maybe next year.
Tomorrow.
What do you think is going on next year?
Oh, next year I am hoping that I will be working and having more, I don't know. I just hoping for a job right about now. That's it.
Is there some particular type of job you'd be interested in having?
Right about now, a job is a job.
Oh.
I won't care. But, no.
One thing I'd like to put up is that there's a series of services that we offer through FACT. And I'd like to go over them, because I think maybe that'll make you think about some of the services that you've received. So, of course, we have mental health services. And, and that's, therapy and counseling. There's crisis intervention. There's housing location, which is, something that in terms of finding an apartment. Financial literacy, employment resources, healthcare, parenting, the community support systems and networks that are made through FACT. The curriculum of preventing child abuse and neglect, trauma-informed services, harm reduction, and reflective supervision and reflective practice. And I guess when you look at all these services, can you describe what some of these services were that you received? I mean, were there, not having had an apartment on your own in the past, was there some help that was offered in terms of helping you learn a budget and develop, how you're going to budget the money you do have so you can make your rent and those kinds of things?
Right, you do. They have a person to come out there and help you with your budget. They have a person to come out, whatever service you need, therapy, jobs. They also have a person that come out to your home weekly or every other week, whatever fits your schedule. They'll help do resume. If they get any job leads, they'll let you know. So,
what was the process to help you get your apartment?
Oh, it was a long process. Like I said, once I got referred to Beacon from a case manager from Threshold, housing do not come that easy. That's why it's like I would help the next as well as I was helped. But whenever you get to the point in your housing on the line and you done dealt with and went through as much as me and my kids went, it make you appreciate what you have and set boundaries for when you do get it.
Mm-hmm. What's been some of the biggest challenges in maintaining your housing?
Trying to help other people and not setting boundaries.
Oh.
So right now I'm just speaking from experience, and it's recently experience.
Well, no, and I think what you're describing is something that many folks face when they first get housed. So you try to be welcoming to a friend, to someone that's close, and then that can jeopardize your housing.
Right.
So I know one of the things when I've talked to other FACT workers, some of the staff, where they say is helping the participants. They want to be helpful and they want to help others, but also helping them learn, like, okay, that's not going to be helpful for you in the long run.
Right.
And it sounds like that's kind of what some of the things are. What would you say is the thing that you've liked most about the FACT program?
I like the team members. It is not that easy to come around people who got good patience. And really, I can say and honestly say some of the FACTS members, well, most of the FACTS members that I have met so far, they enjoy their job. This is something that they do want to do. Because not one time, like say, if by me having kids with a S, it is hard to come and meet all the meetings every day or every other day. Sometimes I have to go to a kid's school, or sometimes I even just don't want to have a meeting at all. Can we reschedule? And they fine with it. They understanding with it. Most places, when you go to public places, DHH office, they have attitudes. Certain people do. But with the FACTS program, I have not came across one member yet who just was having a bad day and took it out on us, or then made it all the way to my home and now I'm not there, or I'm on my way out the door and I cancel right then and there. They, okay, well, they understanding. And I appreciate that, because after my experience, it's bumping into other people is rarely for you to really able to bump in real good people that cares. It
sounds like what you're describing is one thing that makes the program unique, that clearly staff are available and receptive to wherever you are and understand. It sounds like they're understanding that changes happen. It's not ideal, but they're flexible like that, and they're able to respond to that. And that is something that I think the team works really hard at, making sure that they meet the participants, meet you where you're at. And that's really important. I wonder, is there some specific piece of the services that you found most helpful? Because there's parenting services, there's housing services, there's a financial literacy services. I mean, have you accessed the mental health services or the other counseling services for anything else?
For me, I'm in therapy myself. All my kids is. I take advantage of everything that's in this program, because once it's gone, then what? I mean, I'm at the age that I need to take advantage of everything right about now. And then, like I said, I'm trying to better myself as well as better my kids too, and lead by example. And the way how the world is today, when you get blessed into a program like this, you need to take advantage of everything. Even if you feel that you don't need it, still take advantage of it, because you never know, later on down the line you will come across somebody else and can share something that you didn't learn and thought you already knew it all.
It's an interesting point, because you're saying it's almost, holding on to it because it's something that'll help you in the future. And it sounds like, that's what you're saying, that, you're not quite sure if you need it all right now, but you should access it, because in the future you probably will need it.
Right.
So how much longer do you think you'll be in the FACT program?
I give myself 2 more years, if that.
2 more. What would you like to see yourself accomplish?
Well, I already got the home. I got the kids in process. I feel if I continue going with my budget and I end up with the right job, I could get my dream job.
What is your dream job?
So on my own business, in my business, I want a salon in there, as well as a daycare and a restaurant.
Wow.
All in one.
Gosh, that would be wonderful, because then the ladies could come, or the men can come and get their hair done. Their kids would be watched, so they could do what they need to do. And then a restaurant. That's interesting. What kind of food?
All kinds.
Is that something that you enjoy, cooking and those kinds of things?
Yeah, I do. I mean, with 6 kids, I gotta cook. Everything cannot go in the oven and can't go in the microwave. So I do gotta cook a home good meal.
That's
and I
wonderful.
do enjoy doing it.
And then the hair. Is that something that you've
Now, the hair, I am forced to do the hair. Because
Oh.
I have 3 girls and 3 boys. So, I mean, I'm forced to do with it. But, I mean, I like getting my hair done. And I do have relatives in my family that does a good job. So, even though they say you shouldn't hire your family, but I'm quite sure we all in the same boat, so it shouldn't go wrong.
That's really exciting, and I think it's important for you to have a goal of something you'd like to see yourself doing in the future, because I think that's good for your kids because they see that mom has goals and aspirations, and then it keeps you moving along, which I would imagine. What advice would you offer someone that's maybe watching the show and in your similar situation? What advice would you give them?
Well, if you need help and you're willing to change for yourself, it all starts with yourself and then with the next person. And I'm hoping the next person be a kid. Come to Beacon. Try to join, get referred to Beacon Therapeutic because I feel this is a great program. And it's like a second chance. It's giving you another second chance in life to better yourself.
What do you think would have happened had you not come across Beacon Services?
Ooh. I can't even answer that question because honestly I do not know. I don't, because during the process of waiting for Beacon to come through, I already had to deal with housing to housing, and then at the end I end up in a shelter, and then after the shelter just so happened my apartment came through for me. So if Beacon didn't come through, sad to say, I probably would have been in a shelter.
And that's so hard on kids.
Yes.
So I'm glad we were able to provide the supports you needed so that you moved out of a shelter. And it really sounds like you've transformed your life into something that's stable. It's stable for your children. And it's stable for yourself, and maybe is allowing you to think bigger in terms of what can happen further on down the line.
Right.
Our show is almost over, so I'm wondering if you have any final thoughts or comments on what we've been talking about.
I just want to say I am grateful, and I'm appreciating all friends, all family members, and the FACTS team members for helping me and my family out. If there's anybody that need help, if my story could help you, if it did help you, appreciate you for listening. If you ever need some help, call them, join them. There's a wonderful program.
Thank you, Ladonna. That's very nice. And I am going to put our contact information on. If anybody is interested in contacting us, we are able to provide a myriad of services that Ladonna spoke of. Our website is www.beacon-therapeutic.org. Specifically around the FACT program, you can call this number, and it's 773-233-3821. Or again, you can just log on to our website and you can have further contact information there. I'd also like to put up just a few final comments. This is our last show. Oh, I didn't realize I didn't put up any pictures. We have a couple of things coming up. In terms of, we have our annual cycling classic that's July 18th. Our Beacon Bash is July 25th. And our annual holiday supper is December 6th. This is our last show, so we'd like to give a special shout out to Barbara, Tiffany, Stephen, Amari, and Sylvia. Thank you very much. And again, Ladonna, thank you very much for joining me today. And we will see everyone in the fall.
Thank you.